Good day. It's Monday afternoon. It's a pretty bright and warm afternoon. It's about 25 degrees at the moment, I think. There is quite a nice breeze, which is great. But I came down mainly to water. I wasn't going to do a segment today, but when I saw this, I'm standing in my shed doorway and yeah, it's quite huge. They're such wonderful buttons. This is Santolina cotton lavender, and yeah, it's just lovely. I was asked about it yesterday because somebody else who's given me a few plants really likes it, and I'm going to take some cuttings for that person. But yeah, I've been watering everything, and some of our flowers are beginning to go over. Other ones are still to come. I was looking at my tomatoes here, and I'm at Vanessa tomorrow. I've got a Thur and Great Green Barn Day tomorrow, so I'll be sorting these out on Wednesday in terms of taking outside shoots and things. But they seem to be doing pretty well and are pretty strong, which is good. Look, little cornflower there. You see it? Happy days. Our courgettes are producing virtually daily at the moment. Though I did notice, just coming down here, you see in there, oh, am I in the creating shadow maybe? This one is rotting back. So I'm going to cut that one off. This one here, as you can see, is producing fine. But they're all producing. There's 2 growing on that one, 2 on that one, 2 on that one. This one, a little bit tardy, but that's fine. That's fine. Gosh, yeah, it is warm today. The cardoons, the black fly on the cardoons, the ladybirds seem to have got the better of the black fly on here, so that's great. These I just let grow for the bees because the bees adore them. But yeah, there's still, I mean, like here, you see that cocoon there. And here, look on these hydrangea leaves. Not sure if you can see there. Lots of ladybird cocoons. So look at them on that one. I'm not sure if you can see them on the leaves there. Lots more to come. This lavender is just looking rather lovely. The sun's just gone behind a cloud, but it looks even nicer in the sun. Got some gazanias here which are doing okay. That marjoram is about to flower. The beetroot on the end there on the edge are doing okay. And I did mention last week about how there comes the sun again, how the squash was looking sort of a bit weak and a bit yellow. And you know what, in the week that we've had since that, I think some of them have started perking up. Today is Monday, so it's my feeding day, just like I did last week. I give everything a good feed today, so I've given them a good feed, and most things are really good water as well. But I do have areas. Oh yeah, Mexican Fleabane. You may not know it. I think you'll know it by sight. One of our plotters here put Mexican Fleabane on our WhatsApp group. Would anybody like it? Like some? And it reminds me of Guernsey, because Mexican Fleabane grows in the walls of virtually every wall in Guernsey, and on the south coast where Vivi is as well. This is, I put it here because these are 4 plants that have been transplanted into this pot, and I put it here in the shade because with it being transplanted, I know it doesn't like full sun, so it'll get some sun here, enough to get away. So yeah, this is an area that I just need to sort out, open up this storage unit and put various things away. But yeah, a lot of tidying to do. Don't know when I'm going to get around to tidying the shed and the poly. These little sort of thistles are coming out. Be lovely for bees. Oh, saying that, is that a bee? Look, yeah. I was just saying to somebody, I'm not seeing very many bees, i.e. honey bees this year. Seeing quite a few bumblebees, but not honeybees. These verbena, I'm not sure if you can see those. Verbena bonariensis, that's it. 2 beds up here. The one closest to me has got flowers in. The one in the middle I need to think about. This is all weeds that came out from our work social the other day. But let me just go over to the other side and I can show you the beans that have germinated. This is just a couple of days on from the video I did on Saturday, and you can see that the Rocquencourt particularly has germinated. That's 2 rows here, but the Borlotti up there along the edge is also germinating, and some of the flat yellow French are beginning to come out as well, so that's great. Obviously I'm being wary of slugs and snails, and really I need time down here to strim, which hopefully I will be able to do on Wednesday. Hopefully there'll be time to do that on Wednesday. And our new potatoes, our early potatoes, those are all beginning to die back, so I think it's time to take some of those out in a few days and see what we've got, if in fact we have anything. I don't know, I'm not thinking I'm thinking we don't actually. Anyway, I think it's going to be another lettuce year. Talking about lettuce, this is Morton's Secret Mix, and that is coming on fine. Really pleased about that. I have put some organic slug pellets in here because it's sitting outside on this bench, which I know does get slugs and snails. But yeah, I don't use the slug pellets generally on the ground, but in raised areas, if I feel I need to, I will. Let's just have a look at what some of these are going to grow into. So these 2 here are Morton's Secret Mix, as is this one down here, and I think that one is there too. Still got lots of lettuce and some wild rocket in here. I would like to sow some more wild rocket, which I think I'll get onto. You may remember a fellow plotter, they were going on holiday and they gave us 3 lettuce, and I cut the root ball off the lettuce. We had the leaves and I just planted the root ball back in, and those 3 plants there that you can see are regrowing pretty well, so happy about that. And what I'm also happy about is this basil, which is looking amazing. Be taking one of those home. I think I might give one of these, if not 2 of these, to the couple that gave me those lettuce. And then talking about lettuce again, these are our own save seed here. These here are Lollo Beyonder. These are some, I think I said they were parsley the other day. They're actually coriander. But some of these, when the people are back who gave me the lettuce, when they're back, they're going to have some of these. I've just texted them to let them know. I did sow some Gloire Dauphine lettuce seeds. No germination there at all. Time to throw that seed away, I think. And I also sowed some dill, and no germination there either. I'll definitely sow some more. I'll definitely throw away the Gloire Dauphine seed, because I think I've sown it several times before and it's never germinated. The dill, I'll give it another go, but I do think that I need to get some fresh seed, which I will do, yeah, maybe on my way back from Vanessa tomorrow. Actually, we're going to go to a garden centre, I think, with Vanessa tomorrow, so I may get some dill seed in that garden centre. I'm delighted to have that Mexican Fleabane. I'll put the actual name of it, the Latin name, down below. It just reminds me of Guernsey, because, as I say, everywhere, every old wall in Guernsey and quite a few new walls have got Mexican Fleabane growing in them, and they are just glorious. They just make me feel happy. And I don't know whether Vivi has got any in her wall. I sort of think she must do. I must have seen some. I'm going to have to ask her. But if she doesn't, then I'll give her one of these plants or two of these plants, because yeah, I just love them. I just love them. I really, really do. So yeah, it's warm today. In fact, it's pretty hot today, and that breeze that is blowing across is really, really grand. As I said before, I didn't really expect to do a segment today, but seeing various things here, I just thought I would take you round, as I have done, and just show you how a few things are at the moment. We've got more courgettes growing in the greenhouse. I think I'm going to have to put some netting or a whitewash over the greenhouse, because I think it's getting even too warm for the cucumbers in there. Everything has had a good feed, including the cucumbers. The Cannon Hall grape that is also in the greenhouse, which we were given by friends in Guernsey, that is growing well. Again, it's a throwback to Guernsey for me, because as well as being a major exporter of the Guernsey tomato, Guernsey was also a major exporter of Cannon Hall grapes, and they are just the most glorious grape you could ever hope to eat. They really are. Maybe it's because there's something in my youth, I don't know, but I did taste one about 4 years ago, and it just took me back, you know, instantly. It took me back to being on my Uncle Len's shoulders, thinning bunches of grapes. I must have been about maybe 4, 5 or 6. So I was on his shoulders. He himself was standing on a decking board, on a scaffold board rather, that was about 12 foot above the ground, balanced across 2 ladders. I mean, health and safety, you know. When I think back, I just thought it was so exciting, you know. I was on my uncle's shoulders and we were doing gardening things. It was great. It was great. But yeah, it wouldn't happen now. Far too dangerous. Just far too dangerous. But yeah, those glass houses, I'm not sure if there's any big glass houses in Guernsey remaining with grapes in. I don't think there are any. Maybe there are, I haven't seen them, but yeah, I mean, they were massive things, you know. They were like, what, 40, 50 feet wide by 150 feet long, 200 feet long, something like that. And it was just all grapes, you know, just incredible, just incredible. So yeah, there we are. Anyway, a rather impromptu segment for this first one of this week's A Week at the Plot. I apologise if it's been a bit self-indulgent, but you know, sometimes it's nice to be self-indulgent when we get given things and they bring those memories back. It's so special. It's like last night I was doing, what was I doing? I was doing something in the, no, Richard and I have been watching This Is Your Life with, oh, what was his name? Oh, Charlie Drake. Charlie Drake's This Is Your Life. I just flicked over and it was on. And interestingly, Bill Kenwright, my ex-boss, Bill died 1.5 years ago, I think now. My ex-boss, when I was at Bill Kenwright Limited, he came on, and I knew it was around the late, the sort of mid to late 90s, because I absolutely recognised him of the time of me when I was working there, which was 96 to 2000. Where was I going? Anyway, yeah, so I went off to do something in the kitchen, and then I heard these, you know, rounds of applause from the TV a few rooms away, you know, and it just took me back to when I was a child and I was in bed, and you would be going to sleep, but you'd be hearing the TV going on in the, you know, in the front room. And those sort of cozy memories of going to sleep with the mumbles of your parents in the front room, and TV going on in the background, and people applauding, you know, if it was a chat show or something like that, and or, you know, This Is Your Life, which of course I used to watch. Eamon Andrews then. Anyway, I'm waffling, aren't I? I'm waffling. It's nothing to do with a week at the plot, but it is really, because growing has really taken me back to the memories of my youth. It really has. And, you know, that's in one way why I started a Guernsey gardener in London, which has now become a Guernsey gardener in 2025, which I think is going to become a Guernsey gardener. That seems the right thing to happen. I'm enjoying writing my blogs. I'll put a link here and below for my blogs. They go up every day, and I'm going to try and share them more often on social media, because I think people are enjoying them. So these are my written blogs rather than these vlogs, these video vlogs. Anyway, I'm going on. I'm going to shut up. See you very soon. Might see you at Vanessa. Might not. See you later in the week anyway. Bye. Good day. Just thought I'd show you a bit of where I work and the areas that get involved in my job. If we come around here, that's the Great Green Barn, and there's Gigi. I'm not sure if you can see Gigi. Hello Gigi, just underneath the bough of the apple tree. There we are, she's moving. So that's the Great Green Barn. Vanessa's home is a little bit on the end here, but it's a lovely area. This is also Vanessa's house, which she rents out. But yeah, that is the venue basically from the gardens, and then the gardens can all be used. And we go down this way into the Dell. Just got lighting on it, you can see there. I think you may have already seen this on a video of Richard's. And this is an area where we do outdoor theatre. Really rather magical. Midsummer Night's Dream a few years ago, Winnie the Pooh this year. And there's a sort of long walk that goes that way and around, but the whole property is bordered by a river, a little river, which is here. Oh, lovely. Flowing very slowly at the moment. I always used to think it flows from right to left, but it's actually from left to right. Look through there, rather sort of magical. Not sure if you can see right through there. But yes, this is an area for a performance space as well. I mean, obviously it can also be used for other things, but yeah, rather lovely. So you know, I am privileged to have a client that works in an area that I really enjoy. Entertainment and programming and theatre and all of that, and to work in sort of this environment and the Great Green Barn. So yeah, rather privileged, which I'm grateful, I must say. Anyway, I just thought you might want to see, because I know I've talked about the Dell in a couple of segments lately, and this is the Dell. So we normally would have a stage here. People would sit in rows here, bar up that area. So yeah, and then beyond there is we usually just have a few what do you call them, fully enclosed marquees for changing and that type of thing. So yeah, just thought you might want to see you very soon. Bye. Good day. Not sure if you can see that, but that's saying just under 40 degrees at the moment. It was saying just under 50 earlier on today, and you might be able to see in the background there's quite a lot of green and it looks a bit fuzzy. That's because there's now netting on the greenhouse. As you can see, the greenhouse is now covered in netting, or at least this side is, and a bit of this side here. When I came down this morning to harvest courgettes, I harvested 2 courgettes this morning, which I was very pleased about. I noticed the cucumbers in there were really yellowing, and it was really hot. Despite having all the slats open, the window fully open and the doors open overnight, it was really pretty hot in there this morning. As I say, 46 degrees it was saying, and that was sort of about 10 o'clock in the morning. So I decided that I needed to do something about that. I put some whitewash on, which was what Dad would always do. But actually I don't have any whitewash, and I remembered that I do have this netting. So what I have done is I've put this scaff netting right over, in fact I put it right over this front area, right over the top and over to the other side. And then when I was doing that, I realized that really it was this side that gets most of the sun, so it's this side that needed more protection. So I basically, the excess down the far side, I flipped back over the top, so there's a double layer this side and nothing the other side. Whilst I was doing it, or started it and put the net over for the first throw, I thought, oh hang on, I should get the camera out, because I wasn't filming myself. So now we're going to skip back to this morning when I put this netting on, and I'll do a little, I'll obviously splice, or I'll edit the segments of what I did, and I'll talk you through what I did as I did it. So yes, it was at this point that I decided to put the camera up and start filming, and as I went back I noticed that the cloth, the scaff netting, not surprisingly, was caught on the window that's open on the other side. And I thought, I know what, I'll go and get a bamboo stick and I'll use that to sort of unhinge at the top there, not unhinge, uncatch, because yeah, it just caught on sort of the steel edges. I mean, obviously there's a lot of, you know, sharp edges here. I then realized that I need to go around the back because there's a window on the other side that is actually open. It's on one of those automatic opening things. So I'm using the bamboo to unhook it from the sort of areas that it's caught and then pull it along. I think all in all this took about 18 minutes, 20 minutes or something. I could have shut the window first, that would have been the sensible thing to have done. But there's lots of other edges here, and I think the bamboo did work quite well in the end. You know, it was hot, so yeah, so I pulled it right over on the right there, and then I thought, hang on, I've got too much over on the left where I'm standing, so I moved some of that over because the sun really comes in from the front area and the right area here, not from the left area where the door is. So yeah, I'm just moving it along, and then I realize that there's a whole load of netting on the other side, so I get a really big plastic pole and put that in the guttering, because what I want to do is flip all of that scaffold net on the other side over so that I have a double layer on this side. Over it goes. Using the bamboo, I obviously had already dragged it over to this point and then just carried on dragging it over, trying not to catch, and really noticing actually that this was going to help. You know, the double layer was a sensible thing to do at the front, and also a bit at the side. I might even put some newspaper down on the right hand side. With the job sort of done, or roughly done, I put the pots back into their place. I mean, this won't last for a lot of wind, but yeah, I'll see about securing it a bit more at another point. There we are, job done, and pretty pleased with it, to be frank. It really is quite warm down here. In fact, it's quite hot down here. I know other places get it much hotter than the UK, but we have very humid weather, so when it's hot it's really humid, and I find that quite exhausting. I've been in other places where the temperature has been higher, but because the humidity has been so much less, it hasn't felt quite so bad. But yeah, it does feel really warm at the moment. We've got another few days of this, and it's going to hit supposedly 33, 34 degrees on Saturday, and then it's going to drop back to 28, 27, 26 degrees, something like that, for a while. This is a short heat wave. It's you know, like Tom Jones says, it's not unusual. These things do happen. But yeah, for me, I find when the temperature builds over a week or so, I find it much easier to cope with. When the days ratchet up and ratchet up and ratchet up, as has happened over the last few days, I find it a bit more challenging. Poor me, poor me. I hope the cucumbers are going to come back in the greenhouse. As I say, they're still producing. If they don't, then the cucumbers outside are now flowering, and there are male flowers and female flowers there, so hopefully they will start being pollinated and setting and starting to grow cucumbers soon as well. They're in the raised bed, which actually is not a clever thing for me to have done, because of course a raised bed drains really well, and we want to keep those cucumbers, those cucurbits, they like to have their roots nice and moist all the time. So yeah, I did it because it was spare space and I thought, oh, they'll be able to run around here and be sort of enclosed. But yeah, not something I would do again. But they're growing okay. They're now putting on growth and getting greener, so that's good. I'm going to be doing some seed sowing over the next couple of days. Wild rocket, which we really like. The rocket in the poly, which is wild rocket, is coming to the end of its life. It's beginning to flower and go to seed. I'll let one of those go to seed to save seeds from. The other ones I'm taking off the flower as they come up because I want to carry on harvesting from it. Interestingly, the salad rocket, just scratch my leg, that we have got in the bed outside, that is already bolting. We've hardly had any harvest from it so far and it's already bolting. Maybe that is its stress, maybe because of warm days and cold nights. It's had relatively frequent watering, so I don't think it's stressed from irregular watering. But yeah, it's the first time I've grown it and it was given to me by a fellow plotter. It's just a shame that it's beginning to bolt, but there we are. I've said fennel, haven't I? Have I said fennel? Yes, bulb fennel. Have I said fennel? Don't know. The heat's getting to me. Bulb fennel I will be sowing, and the other thing that I'm going to be sowing is chard, leaf beet, 5 colours. They're all going to go into modules. The wild rocket will go into smaller modules, so that'll be a whole tray but small modules, and the chard and the fennel, bulb fennel, will go into the larger modules of those trays. So yeah, that's good, that's good. It's Thursday afternoon now and I am actually going to leave a week at the plot here for this week. We've got a bit of a busy weekend coming up, but I am going to be down here on Friday and Saturday. But what I'm trying to do with a week at the plot is keep them to 30-35 minutes, certainly under 40 minutes. And I think we were already at 21 earlier in the week. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. What I will be doing over the coming days is I will be planting out our squash, our cheeky prince. I think I'll be doing that. What I definitely will be doing is some tomato cares. So what I will do is I'll have the camera up, and then when we're doing next week's A Week at the Plot, I'll refer back to what I did on Friday or Saturday, and we'll refer back to that footage with the tomato cares, because yeah, they do need some care. And then next week I think we'll also talk about a few things that aren't quite going to plan this year, and what my ideal vegetable garden might be, or 2 things that it might contain. I'm not talking about vegetables, I'm talking about equipment. Anyway, whatever is happening in your garden, your growing space or your allotment, I hope you are getting harvest. I hope you're keeping on top of watering. I hope you're not getting too hot, and I hope you are nicely chilled out. Any comments, any questions, please do leave them down below. And I will see you again on Planet Vegetarian with segments as we go through next week. Or I'll be back along with another full upload of A Week at the Plot on YouTube in a week's time. In the meantime, good luck with everything and happy growing. Bye.